All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining today, and welcome to Blue Triangle's product training this week. So today we're going to talk about synthetic monitoring and specifically how to diagnose an error. This means as you're monitoring your dashboard or you get an alert email that says there has been an error with one of your synthetic monitors, what do you do next, and how do you determine the criticality of the issue, or whether it's a site issue or a script issue, and kind of the whole workflow and the path that you can take to figure that out. So that's what we got. That's what we're going to discuss today. All right, so to introduce myself, if you haven't joined any of these trainings before, we do these sessions each week, and we do them about not always topics related to Blue Triangle, but general web performance topics and how to leverage Blue Triangle to solve problems, right? And so that's kind of the goal of these trainings. And so my name is Mark Heidemann, and I'm the support manager here at Blue Triangle. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out on any of those emails there. But let's go ahead now and get into the session today about diagnosing an error. So the first thing is, I just want to give a quick overview of what we're going to talk about. So I'm gonna walk through the flow of investigating an error or diagnosing an error from the synthetic performance overview, specifically the error tracking and performance widget. There's a few other ways that you can investigate synthetic failures in the Blue Triangle portal, and I'll kind of touch on those at the end here. But I just want to give you one simple, straightforward way of how to do this. And so that's what I'll do. We'll talk about kind of navigating the dashboard and the widget first, and then we'll talk about how to actually drill in, view monitor, script settings, and then the actual test results and any additional details you might need. So specifically with the test results, obviously we're going to want to know what was the error or response code and error message. I'll show you how to view the object waterfall, the HAR file, screenshot, all those good things that come along with each synthetic page view. And ultimately, I think one of the questions we're trying to answer is this a legitimate site issue, or is this an issue with the script? So I'll be focusing on multi-page synthetic monitoring, like scripting today, mainly because that's where the majority of the challenges and the questions are going to come from, how to figure these issues out. With the single page measurements, you're just going to get a 404, a 403, or some kind of 500 error or something like that. Maybe it's a timeout. So they're not as difficult to diagnose. So we'll just be focusing on those multi-page synthetic journeys today. All right, and then, like I mentioned, we'll kind of cover some other helpful pages that you can use. Let's go ahead and just dive right into it. We'll walk through this in the Blue Triangle portal. All right, so here we are in Blue Triangle. I'm on the synthetic performance overview page. You can get there under synthetic monitoring, real browser, and performance overview. So this is where I would recommend everyone start. If you're more familiar with Blue Triangle, you probably know other areas, or you might have preferences on other areas to start with, but this is the easiest, most straightforward dashboard for monitoring your synthetic monitors, right? A little bit about how this page works. Obviously, each of these rows here is a synthetic monitor, and this line is performance, and then the red and green is error tracking. Whether it's currently failing or if it's successful based on the error conditions. And you can configure the error conditions in the synthetic monitor, and you can do that with this gear cog icon right here. So let me just show you that really quick, actually. So obviously there's a bunch of settings here, and today I'm not going to walk through how to set up one of these synthetic monitors. We've done some previous trainings, and there's some good, quick, help videos that you can watch on how to do this. But I just wanted to point out the error tracking configuration section here. So this actually controls the red and the green in these bars over here. So it's basically saying like what are the conditions for an error state, and it's basically a look back period or a timing window rolling. So in the last 15 minutes, what do you want to focus on, a percent of failures or the number of test runs that failed? You can specify the minimum node locations that failed that in order to go into error state, and then you can say, you know, there must be at least 2 or 3 errors, and you can check here whether those must be consecutive. So there's kind of a lot you can do here. It's really cool. And always be sure to add your email address, or if you have a notification group, you can add that here as well. All right, but coming back over here, you can see the average performance and the last measured over here to the right. You can actually change the metric of performance here to any of these. But as far as really how to diagnose an error, what you're going to do is click on the bar in the red area, and that's going to open up the synthetic test results. It's basically like an hour surrounding the time that you picked. And so if we scroll down, just show all of these. So here we can see a couple of failures down here. Now, if you hover over the result code, you'll be able to see, you know, what was the command that failed, or what was the error message. So this is really helpful in a lot of cases, so you can quickly identify, you know, what might be wrong. So in this case, the wait for text present command failed, and let's say we don't really know what that means unless we're very familiar with the script. There could be multiple steps with that command. So what we can do is open it up, and now we can see that it was failing on the add to cart step. Now, to drill in even further, you can click this little waterfall icon over here, and this is really the bread and butter of investigating synthetic failures. Okay, so this opens up a little modal here with tons of information about this particular page in the synthetic script. So there's waterfalls, domain level and object level. There's the har file, headers and cookies, and really the key areas here: the object level detail waterfall, the har file, the screenshot, the film strip. Sometimes the console log can be helpful, and the test event log. So first things first, to try to diagnose this error right off the top. The wait for text present command failed, right? So we don't really know like what text we were looking for, but we can find that out really easily by going over to the test event log. And so we just expand that. This is basically just a timestamp and the message in a table here, and you can see as the script is executing, it's logging some information here, and basically this is the command that failed: wait for text present. And the text we're waiting for has been added to your cart, and obviously failure pattern not present. So if we go back over to the screenshot, we can see it looks like the problem here is whatever the process or API call or set of code that runs to like do the animation of that happens after you click add to cart. There should be something that pops up here. As a matter of fact, I can show you a successful test, and we can actually compare what that looks like. So if we look at, what is it, the add to cart step. So it should look like this. And And the text we're looking for is here, has been added to your cart. So obviously this basically timed out and we're not able to see it. And, with the wait for text present command, failed. So that's basically the reason this failed. Now, if it were a real user, maybe they would have waited and there wouldn't have been any issues with the site. It was more of a timeout in this case. So that's probably something you might want to ask your, the DevOps team or the, whoever manages the website, and let them know that you observed a timeout of sorts during that time. Okay. Test event log is very helpful, in other words. And so that's kind of a quick walkthrough using the synthetic performance overview. Now, a couple of things I'll point out. If you need to look at the script or make changes to the script, I'll show you how to do that really quick. Up in the settings menu in the top right, this cog, there's a section under for synthetic, and under that there's synthetic scripts. And here's our script right here. You can click the eyeball to view it. And if you just expand all steps, you can basically see the Selenium commands that make up the script and the various steps. So if you needed to edit it, you could do that here. You can upload a new version, etc. If we go back here, you can actually export this script to the HTML for Catalan, which is pretty common Selenium IDE for Chrome. So that's a really helpful feature there to export it. And you can make any changes that you need to make, and then if you go into edit, you can upload new version here. Now that's only part of what needs to be done to update a script. You'll then want to make sure the actual synthetic monitor is running that new script version. So here, let's say there was a v3 that we just created. You'll want to be sure to go into the monitor configuration, which again you can get to from on this overview dashboard. This gear or cog icon next to the monitor name takes you to the monitor settings. And you'll just, after you update the script, you'll just want to come into the monitor and make sure you choose the latest version in the version selector here. Alright, so a couple of things I'll point out really quick. The first is the synthetic site health dashboard. This is just another view or dashboard that you can use to monitor your synthetic. And it's basically just a scatter plot, and it has a nice screenshot view up here, and you can cycle through the different steps and see, and you could even see, like, really at a quick glance, like something was timing out here because this hasn't completed. You can see this gray area. It hasn't completed the animation of adding something to the cart. Other areas of blue triangle, you can click the scatter plot points. This will update. These are all the scripts, the test runs, and then these are all the pages in each test run that you click. And then if you click one of these pages, you can go down and view the waterfall, film strip, the HAR file, and test event log down here as well. This is used often for troubleshooting script issues after just creating it. You can see really quick what might be going on, but as far as like operational monitoring, I would recommend the synthetic performance overview. Now, one last page I want to point out under synthetic real browser is the performance detail page. So this is more for, I would say, historical investigation. So you can kind of see a summary of availability up top. You can see performance here, and then over time you can see performance and the number of tests that are running. And if you actually click in the graph, this little blue shaded area, these are all the test runs that happened in that time period. And the same thing as the dashboard that we were just looking at. You can click one of these scatter plot points and look at the individual test, the individual pages in that test, and then click the one of these pages, and you just scroll down a bit, and you can see all this good information that you can in the test results. All right, so obviously we only went through like one use case, but this kind of flow, this workflow is really the best way to diagnose issues with your synthetic monitors. So I think that about wraps up what I wanted to share with you guys today. So I'm going to check the chat and the questions now and see if there's anything I can help answer for you guys. So I did see a question about film strips. Basically, some of these measurements don't show any film strip, it just says it can't be found. And the reason for that is it's an account setting in the contract of how many screenshots and film strips you're allowed to have, and it's a percentage that you can configure in the synthetic monitor. So if we go back into the settings here and scroll down, there should be a section for this. Yeah, the screen capture and film strip config. So the film strip is currently at 50%, which is actually pretty high, I think, in most cases. But this is just a demo account. But yeah, that's where you would be able to configure that, and it basically just means 50% of your measurements are going to have a film strip, which is very good coverage. Typically, the screenshot gives you everything you need to know. The film strip is just extra, and you can see the loading process and some of the milestones and what the page looks like at those performance metric milestones. But yeah, anyways, so that's the reason not all of your synthetic tests are going to have a film strip due to this config. All right, let's see. I don't see any other questions, so I guess I can start kind of wrapping things up for today. So, of course, we appreciate everyone's time here today, and we hope you learned a lot and can use this information on, for your own time and for your own investigations. So let me actually pull up the slides really quick, and I can bring up this, so you can reach out to us at any of these emails if you have any further questions. And our help center is a great resource at help.bluetriangle.com. You can also get there with the question mark icon up in the top right of the Blue Triangle portal. So that kind of wraps everything up for today. Thanks again, everyone, for your time, and we look forward to seeing you all next time. Have a great day.